this is leaving the Galio support opportunity there as well, potentially. Quite rare to see, but so is the Gragas these days in the support position.
Could happen, you know.
As Corki will be, it looks like, what BDD wants to lock here in the mid lane to face off against this Ahri. Can be a very volatile matchup, as we mentioned in the previous series. We did see it. BDD confident he can get it done against one of Faker's best and one of the strongest mid lane champions right now in the meta with the build that she has, her synergy with Vi, which is so rarely given over. You know, we saw Viego last series as well. You know, you have a few different champions you can play Ahri with, but the Vi is the simplest one. Will be that Gragas support as expected. Galio being the counter pick for the Rumble. In terms of setup for equalizers, it's pretty tricky here, but when you consider T1 are going to be following up on dive, you can kind of use the equalizer either defensively or...
See just how well they can do it as we're getting ready for the first game of the Telecom War right now.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
Alrighty, game number 1. All eyes on that bottom lane, for sure. Faker is not using his skin, which is not a big surprise. I thought, you know, I gave it like a little, maybe 1-2% chance that maybe he would throw it in there. Just a very special occasion for the 1000th game, but...
Doran, and then he instantly walks up to mid after clearing the wave. So he teleports down, clears, and now can be a relevant factor with his ultimate, actually, in this fight. Potentially, T1 are sticking it.
Yeah, I mean, this is 5v4 if KT want to take the fight. So I don't think you want to take the fight by any means.
Really cool play, though, from T1.
Oh. Clear up the Fnatic sign did Smash. A little shout out to his old brother Reckless.
Yeah, he's done that a few times. I love to see some Reckless enjoyers.
Oh!
Close.
That was pretty close. Nice charm there from Faker. They're not going to go in on it. I think T1 have a pretty clear call here, which is we're going to get all the grubs. And Doran, you know, he might have to drop some CS, but he's still 10 CS ahead. Yeah, so who cares?
4 BD, that is to say. As a bit of a supportal combat situation again here.
These supports actually do a bit of damage. Owner is here, but that would be not a good idea. We've seen Koshik attempt that angle where the guy just flashes under the turret and the Vi just dies. In this case, it would be a little bit different because you've got a Kaisa potentially to join, but...
If Podok was further out, then, you know, there was definitely a potential angle there, but now they're just going to kind of try to zone him off of farm here and grab some plate gold. With an Alistar, you know, there might have been a world where he could have actually stuck it under turret there and said, come at me, but just not going to risk it. But as a result, there's going to be a lot of lost farm here and lost experience as well.
Well, he's just flashed on in and flash. There it is from Carry. Amazing engage, and they just did not respect that. They had a ward. They saw that Owner was still there, and that T1 were still looking, but no respect shown from Peter, not able to flash and react on time.
And the irony is that out there, there's no turret to protect you. Didn't stay under the turret to farm, and now Owner over here with ult.
There's no charm, but they might just have enough damage. Yes, they absolutely do. Owner didn't have to use his ult top, so he just comes to mid, takes down BDD.
I think that might have been the case. I'm not actually 100% sure, but we'll get a... No, he won't.
No, I don't think so. Oh, Smash is just ganking bot. Casting is 100% dead. Like 1,000% dead, maybe. Really, the question is who's going to get the kill, and it will be Smash eventually here as he gets it. Does drop 3 CS. I think he's fine with that. Meanwhile, KT are going to take the grubs in the top lane, but the gigantic gold lead, at least for this point in the game, 2,000 gold already, does go over to T1.
Yeah, and it's BDD stripe. That's all you got.
And it's a tiny stripe.
Yeah, it's 135.
It's like a speck. It might even be a dot.
It might be a dot.
It's like the beginning of the line, but it's not really.
And it's fading as Faker picks
30
up
gold.
Yeah.
That dot is struggling.
Yeah, that dot is pinhead-sized at the moment. As, you know, in this lane matchup here where casting returns, it's hard to actually get kill pressure on a Galio. And as you can see, Doran is just like, okay, if you want to fight me, like, we'll go.
You're just never going to kill him.
Like,
and guess who's here?
Yeah, and he
It's
just
Owner.
TP'd back in. And now he's pushed out and maybe dead.
Casting has flash. There's no ult here for Owner. But maybe he just runs under turret. But the burst is coming through, and that was incredibly close. Casting, credit to him. He doesn't flash. He keeps his cool. But it's still not a good situation.
And he can't clear the whole wave. Doran will get a plate at least. As over here, Peter looking for something.
Yeah. And carry it every single time Peter tries to go in. He just puts his belly on him, you know. The Faker misses the charm, so nothing going to happen there. Owner did have his ult, but they don't have vision of that brush. So
Rare. See the Malignants.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think every single Ahri has gone for the Rod of Ages build up until this point. So Faker, he is doing something special. I'm just not sure it's the right thing, as the ult is going to go in on a Padak, and there's the follow-up. It's as easy as that. You press your R, and even Israel can't do anything, as Peter also is going to die. Smash now 3-0, Owner 2-0-2.
And that's the kind of counter to Ezreal moment that I was talking about earlier, where some help from his friends, and this should be the turret going over here. They already have Feats of Warfare, so this will be Feats of Strength as it falls. T1 feel like they couldn't be more ahead. And the only thing they're missing is that one dragon. And
the 3 grubs, don't forget.
Oh, true. That's
KT got the consolation 3 grubs as their team. He's got flash and one more Spirit Rush, and he also has charm. He's going to try to hold on to the flash. It's going to bite him in the butt as Peter does follow flash, and he just dies. Meanwhile, T1 up in the top lane are just bullying casting once again. They're doing a great job of making the rookie's life really difficult, as this guy is not getting out alive once again. It'll be 0-2. Meanwhile, they're taking the mid turret. You know, I don't think that Faker really did that on purpose, but he's still able to have his team get a lot of wins elsewhere on the map.
It's just it's a Faker trait, right? If Faker dies somewhere, T1 usually gets something on the other side, in most cases, especially when you're 3,000 gold ahead. You know, it's a lot easier to make that thing happen on the other side. And the game state that we have right now, Faker is caught, sure, but Doran gets the whole turret, delays, or rather deletes some minions by delaying the take on the turret as he does so. And they have mid-prio because it's Kai'Sa into Ezreal, so they really just have control everywhere. It's a 2,000 gold lead for Smash, and Carry is lurking, and he leaves.
Yeah, he's lurking. I think Cuz spotted him with the scanner, or just with his face. Trying to engage now onto Keria. He does have his flash. He's just going to body slam over the wall instead. And the ever-looming threat of Smash's incredibly fed Kai'Sa.
You know, how scared KTR to even chase down that Gragas, because they know that there is going to be a follow-up.
Well, yeah, they were scared to chase the Gragas, but they're not scared to try to force this Rift Herald.
Faker having TP.
Yeah, I think this is a mistake. The Ezreal is just so incredibly dead. There's just no play in the game for Padak. He showed up to the LCK. He's like, I'm ready to play. And T1 said no. Because Peter's going to die too. BDD is teleporting away from the fight. So he's also losing his teleport to save his life. And yeah, I mean, they got the Rift Herald, I guess.
With T1 having a lot of prio there, by force.
Yeah, they did not have any business playing around that Rift Herald, I'll tell you that. Keria down a flash, down a body slam. Faker here to help out as well. I think Keria probably would have gotten out anyway, but, you know, he's a supportive older brother. Seems to be the
that's the new trend.
The new trend of the LCK. But one of them probably will. And T1's in that class. KT right now are not. So it is quite one-sided as in goes Owner. He's got the Galio follow-up. It's not the cleanest together engage, but the taunt is going to land here onto Rumble. Casting just dies again, and the follow-up is there. They're not going to overcommit into the jungle, but they're certainly going to make their presence made after getting that kill. Nice little cast into the wall, going to force Peter into a rough spot. And now with the charm follow-up, nicely done by Faker. That means that is another kill on the board.
Anytime 2021 to 2024, T1 be doing Baron on spawn here. But now it's 2025, it doesn't spawn at 20 minutes anymore, so they won't be doing that. But, you know,
Padak run.
7,000 gold the advantage right now at 20 minutes. Faker has to flash.
Oh. Well, it's actually KT who are getting the better of this trade. Nicely done. A smash goes in, still going to get the kill on a Cuz. Cleanly done from the young 80 carry.
And, you know, we talked about it in Kespa Cup a lot of Smash. Incredibly consistent playstyle. He just keeps finding these moments, and, you know, we won't have the replay of him getting that one because we got to go back to live where Podok is dead, but he's the type of player who, you know, that Ezreal play he made in LCK Cup, not in Kespa Cup.
Yeah, when you said Kespa Cup, I'm like, I don't think he played in Kespa.
No, he did not. But that kind of play, we've seen him do so many times. He just is so good at finding these angles and just taking people's heads off. I mean, he's massively fed in this game, so it's not as impressive as some of the stuff we've seen from him, but I just got to shout it out because he finds these... EDD is dying a slow and painful death.
I mean, he might get Faker here. Nicely done. Gonna take him down. Faker wanted the kill. He gets punished for it. He's not too happy about that.
But it's the Faker death into Otacon, you know?
I mean, technically KT are 4v3 here, but they're not on the objective. And certainly now T1 will take the fight 3v4 as they have the Otacon buff. The incredible amount of damage that Owner is doing in the backline. That's before Smash even shows up. Podok doing his best, but his best is certainly not enough. Not at this point in the game. Triple kill for Smash, who is now 9-0. And there's still more game to play.
There certainly is. Smash, he is a very good Kai'Sa player. And he is showing everyone why.
Oh boy.
And he gets the kill here. That's 10. Yeah, I was like, are we really going to do it to him again?
We had the Zekali 15 kill game the other day. Can we get Smash up to that number?
I think it's going to be hard pressed to get 15 at this point, though. The base is about to fall apart. Let's see if he could do it. I mean,
that's really the only thing I'm curious about.
What if he gets a Penta and ties Zeka and then the game ends? That'd be cool.
That could happen.
It's unlikely, but I mean, I won't count him out.
It would require KT to fight them. I think that's the last thing they want to do, but they're going to be forced to as this kill does go to Smash. Okay, there you go. There's the one. We'll see how many more he can get as Peter goes into his ult. Keria is tanking off just barely with the Galio. Nice charm here from Faker.
Can we get two?
Comes in from Flash, or from Smash rather. Oh no, Owner stole one away. But it's all right. The Penta is denied and Smash will get up to 13. And Peter says, well, do I go in or do I just go to the base? He's going to try his best because he's Peter. It's another kill over to Smash. 14 in his first game back. That's 23-3. T1 will absolutely just destroy KT. It was not close, not for a millisecond.